Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of ARRI Asia Hour. My name is Bertrand. I'm from ARRI and I will be the moderator today. I'm delighted to be with you once again and having the opportunity to introduce you to three of the most talented Asian gaffers of their generation. I'm so glad that they have accepted our invitation to share with you their SkyPanel S360 experience and knowledge. Let's start with introducing our guest. Here with us today, it's Mr. Wingma. Hi, Wing. How are you? Yeah, good. Wing is a gaffer and a cinematographer. He's based in Hong Kong and China. He has been working on incredible portfolio, both local and international features. His most notable movies include Geostorm and Transformer: Edge of Extinction. That's big American movies. And he's also working on a lot of Chinese movies, including Azura, a big production in China. He's currently working on the upcoming feature film called Saga of Light, which he will be talking about later on with us. Thanks, Win, for being with us. Appreciate it again. Our next guest online from Seoul is Mr. Jae-hyuk Lee. He's a gaffer and a cinematographer from South Korea. He's an industry veteran with more than 40 projects, both local and international. His latest project include a Korean drama called Queen Cholin and Korean film Mogadiscio, entirely shot in Morocco, North Africa. He's also the founder of Gen Lighting, a lighting rental company, and ARRI Lighting Service Center in South Korea. Thank Jay for being with us today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Nice meeting you guys.
And last but not least, Mr. Tam Kasem Santinavin is our third guest from Bangkok. He started his career as a gaffer in 2017. His creativity made him quickly one of the leading gaffers for the high-end TV commercial and music video in Thailand. His latest project includes Season of You music video and the Purica Cream commercial. He's also the founder of the cinema-based company, a Bangkok rental company. Tam is joining us today from the office of Tool Unit, one of our partners in Thailand. Thanks, Tam, for being with us today and sharing your experience with the S360.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. So let's dive in quickly because I have a lot of questions for you. My first question will be for you, Wing. When you use an S360 or when you start a project, what trigger you to use the S360 at first? What is the process? Can you tell us how you start a project with 360?
Yes, I like the 360 and have a wide surface.
Mm-hmm.
So when we build like a 25, I think most of the people and therefore they will put the softer in between. Less the line more wider and softer. So I think the 360 exactly do the same thing.
Yeah.
Already wider and softer.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put like a 25 in the front. Then I have the very soft light and very beautiful even. So that's why I like to using the 360 for the studio, one of the big ambient and big soft light.
Yeah, and I think we are seeing some pictures of that light. So you did something with the mermaid. I think people have seen that live on their stream. Okay, that's interesting. So very big soft light is what you like, right? You like soft light. Jay, on your side, in Korea, so how you approach that first time you 360? What triggered you to use the 360 on project?
Well, before I talk about choosing the 360, I'd like to talk about when I started to use LED lights. And then once I found out there was a good LED light before SkyPanel, I fall in love with it and I just keep using it. And a couple of years ago, I thought it was the people just put a tungsten units by their habits. And I found out that LED could be just to place them all. And then everybody will talk about it, how beautiful the light is and the colors and everything. But I like to talk about the fixture of the 360 is, because you can put 4K soft lights in your truck in a very there's a many fixtures that you can put it in your truck and then you can carry around it. And also a couple of years ago I tried not to put any tungsten units and put all the LED lights instead of it. So that was how I started. And there's a 60 came out, and I'm falling in love instantly. And there's a 360. So that was my start, and that's the whole trigger me to start to using all the LED lights.
So it's the family of SkyPanel for you. It's important in your set, right?
Yes.
From the 60 to the 360. Okay, and the student for you, Tam, what triggered you to use the S360 in your project in Thailand?
Well, for my project in sometimes lighting is a part of the set. Like maybe we painting all the set with in the colors, or changing the white limbo background into the colors, or sometimes we need the effect to cover all the set. Yeah, that's one reason. And another reason is sometimes some jobs has a special requirement, like when we shooting children or animals, we might need a big wide range of light, but need to avoid the heat or the ultraviolet. Yeah, then the S360 is in the game.
Yeah, because it's no heat compared to other big source. Well, that's very interesting start, guys, to talk about the 360. When we prep this show, both or you three, you mentioned that something you liked about the 360, and it's available in all the SkyPanel. It's fire and the explosion possibilities. What is, maybe starting with you, Jay? What is the reason for that? Do you use, for example, do you use the fire effect in the library inside the S360, or you ask your board operator to do that for you when you want to do a fire effect?
Well, I recently used all for the fire effects for the past 3 movies that I worked on. But we didn't have a board operator, but we just use it with one single controller, which came with it. And it's so useful to have it. And I wasn't trying to put any, because I mean normally the past 3 movies that I worked on, it was only shot in an outside. Exterior shoots a lot, and won't able to have a big setup and have a board operators and all that. So, but we use one controller each one of them, and works perfectly fine.
Okay, thanks for that. Tam, I know, and we are going to see some pictures of fire effect you have been using. Maybe you can talk with us about that. But so maybe these first pictures that we see on the screen. So with the talent on the pyramid, so it was a lot of real fire, and on top of that, it was some effect with the SkyPanel, correct?
Yeah, actually the SkyPanel is behind the throne. I mean, I use the S360 to create the moving ambient, like the real fire. Actually, we have a lot of fire in that set, but I can add more colors and still use an fire effect. I mean, and with the size of the light, and they have like 12 light engine, so the movement they have like a movement from the left to the right to the right inside the S360 panel. So that's look cover the space and look natural for me.
Yes. So you can control where your fire is, basically, right? On your talent, right? Yeah.
And you can control the color, the power, everything.
Yeah, and we see that. I think we see that in the photo, and people were able to see that online when we were talking. And I think because we have Wing here, and we wanted to show you guys also that it's very easy to do. So it's a very simple set we have here. Do you want to explain to us what you have and what we can do very quickly on with the effect?
I think most people will using the light engine to the fire effect. I very love that and appreciate this design. So now I have the little bit demo here. I can do the like a very subtle the fire effect, and the other one the more movement. So if how to make a very real natural fire effect in here. So let's start.
Yes, let's start. I cannot wait. A bit of fire. I'm a bit cold actually, so I am much better.
So
Look at that.
this is the first one. So this one is very subtle and romantic one. I call that.
You prepare that for us. It's a romantic fire.
Yeah, romantic fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we need some cappuccino and everything.
Yeah, we need a drink.
And other one, sometimes we need the more movement. We put the other one, so more the fire movement and also the color and the temperature already changed. So that's why we have the 12 panel here. We can mix together, so we see the more big fire and very slowly. Yeah. So it's very easy on the set to change the fire big or small.
Yeah, and it's very close to what Tom was saying. Like you can have real fire, but you can direct your fire to your talent and create effect.
Yeah, it depends. This time you want a bigger or smaller.
Yeah, and that's very easy, and that's using the built-in effect, right? So it's no board operation whatsoever.
So it's very easy. I think everyone can do that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's even me. I can try to do that.
Put this one and put this one.
No, it's great. Jay, also on big set in Korea, sometimes people use board operators, right? Do you think it gives some extra things to use the board operator, or it's really similar than the effect, or you achieve better things with board operator?
Well, we do have a board operators, but the production won't allow to have them because it's not something that because production doesn't understand what how important to having a board operator. So that's something that we need to educate the productions that why do we need to have a board operators? Also, not only the productions, but also as electricians and the gaffers, and they have to realize how much important having a board operator itself, because it's not something that one of your guy can wrangle the cable and carrying your light and hey, let's just come up here and then just do this operating. We cannot do that. That board operator has the separate apart. But most of the gaffers and the production, they don't understand because no one teach them what it is and how it works. So that's the problem. I don't know if that's what happens in Korea, especially in film industry in here.
No, but I think it's everywhere, and I just wanted to challenge you a bit on that because I think as you guys demonstrate the effect built in, it's very valid and can be used in a lot of sets. But of course, as soon as you are on a bigger set, and we are going to talk about some Hollywood set later on, obviously board operator is a very important role. But already with the built-in effect, and particularly the fire effect, you can do a lot of things. So just I wanted to touch base on that. What interests me with you three guys is because you have, of course, different background. You work in different type of the industry, and you have a specific way to use the SkyPanel, right? And I want to start with you, Tom, because I know that you have used in location shooting, right? Thailand is very famous for location shooting, and you have a lot of experience in location shooting. And recently, you use an S360 on a moving truck for a TV commercial project, and I think our friends will see that on their screen also. Can you tell me more about this project? Because I'm very, very interested to hear from you how you read it and how it happened. So how you managed to put this 360 on this trailer?
Well, at first after shooting, we decided to have a clear, soft key light. So I come up with the S360 instead of using 4K with a lot of diffusion, because of we're working on the limited time and limited space. So only one panel can work easier, and plus we can dim it, we can change the color temperature, and when we working on the tight schedule, the small number of equipment we use, the small time we need to rig it. So that's why I choose the S360.
Yeah, that's very nice. And I think we saw also a bit of the clip, and the result is nice with the motorbike moving. So for me, and it's a great job. I love it because it's a very simple set, right? It's not a complex crane or system like that, and the result is great. And I'm sure that gives plenty of idea of people around the region to use it. Simple way to rig it on the truck and hope you go. So that's a great idea. Maybe going to you, Jay, now. I know you returned recently from Morocco, right? You spent several weeks or months there shooting a movie called Mogadishu. Morocco is in North Africa. What was the shooting condition? I want to ask you, and is it very different to what you were used to in Korea before?
Well, yeah, I was there before pandemic happens. That was the last October, and then we spent there for 4 months, and we had a great time there, and all of the people and all the filmmakers there we just collaborated each other, and then we had a good time. I I didn't think that there's a gap between the Korea industry, the film industry, and the America system, because they have a lot of productions came all over the place, like Europe, and they came over for shooting desert scenes and all that, and the market they have, Medina, and also all the Hollywood productions came down there, and they're filming there, so they have ability to working from the indie level to all the way up to the Hollywood level, so they're prepared, and I had no problem with it.
So you find your S360 there, or you ship it from Korea, or you had access to a SkyPanel there?
Well, they also have the SkyPanels there, but think about the Morocco. Imagine how much dust and all that. Well, they still have it, but the period that we're staying was 4 months, but we only use a 30% of. Well, we only have a 30% of the night sequence, which I was using it, and then I just wanted to, the production wanted me to ship out one of my 360 out there and just use it. So I just ship it over there and use it, and then kept it. And I wish I could show you some clip, but it's still on post production, so I won't able to do it. But yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah, we see some still pictures that you were able to share with us. So night scene and that. So it was mainly location shooting, right? No studio work.
No studio works. The story, I just wanted to tell you a little bit of a story. This happens in only 1992. There are civil war happens in Mogadishu. So the government shut down all the electricity. So during the nights when they escape scene, we only use the existing light under the ground, like burning cars, the fire that people they're holding it, and those lights. So that's why I use all the fire effects, most of them during the shoots. And the other picture that you have it there, that's the 4 S60s just having moonlight effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a very nice effect. I mean, everybody uses the 60 for Moonlight. I'm sure you have done some Moonlight also like that, right? It's
ambient, that's very well, and softer, even.
Yeah. Yeah, I think now every Moonlight around the world, people see on movie, they are done with SkyPanel one way or another, right? It's that's a go-to for Moonlight, absolutely. So that's a nice shot. I'm looking forward to see this movie soon, Jay. Maybe Wing, one of the particularity, and you are one of the key gaffers in the region who work on big Hollywood movies. When the Americans come here, they all want to work with you here in Hong Kong or in China. As I said, you have been involved with Geostorm and with Transformer. I was on Avenger, but it's Transformer. And you share with us some pictures that people will see also online. Can you what is different on their set when they use large number of SkyPanel or things like that? What do you take on them?
I think for the production, not much big difference. So, but I think for the technical, I think have a difference because But I think I work with a lot of the DP. There's one of some DP they very careful the color temperature. Some DP very careful the color. So I work with one of the DP. He asked me how to make it the street light more color, more layer. I say, can you put some cyan like a 360, put some cyan edge of the street light, so make a more the color contrast. Okay, he said yes, please put on the cyan, but add one more the dark blue nearly to cyan. So if you want to make a more the color layer, if long time ago we can't do that. So now I'm using the SkyPanel, and very easy to change the intensity and also the color. So I very love this and can help a lot now the production.
Yeah, and on this high level of production, they are very demanding on color, as what you said, and the balance of color and the standard.
And other, we shot a lot of the location, but we need to shot the location in the studio. So we be very care the color temperature on the outside. And so they say how to do matching, because we're using the colorimeter matching, and then back to the studio. One of the DP, they do exactly the color temperature of the location. So no any like a few degrees different. So he said, okay, the DI can do the post-production can do the matching, but this supposed to our professional and our job. We should carry on this. So okay, SkyPanel can do that same thing.
Yeah.
So I like it. This one is easy, and the DMX system can remember all the data. So very good for us.
For this big set also, we see also more and more of these guys using the XY coordinates, exactly what you say, right? Exactly to be at the same point, for example, on location, on studio. And you share with us some pictures that are with big set and a lot of train, and it's always a lot of things going on with American.
And the daytime we most concentrate to the light control, how can blocking the sun and making more the contrast.
Yeah, no, it's always interesting. Say, moving from that, we can go to your personal craft and what you have done recently, right? Because all of you have worked on very interesting projects with the S360. Maybe starting with you, when we saw some pictures, and maybe you can talk with us more about Saga of Light. It's a movie that you just finished, or it was before the pandemic, right? It's a Chinese movie.
Yes.
Do you want to walk us through and maybe give us a bit of idea what you have done on this movie?
Yes, and I like the 360. I like the 360 have a big surface, and other reason I like the texture. I think the most of people thinking of the 360 like the soft light, but for me, I like it look like a more close to the hard light. So I will using the 360. Sometimes make it the hard light, and then when we put the 20 by the half grip or quarter grip and making the soft light. So the first photo, we are on the right hand side, we have the two 360 on the scissor lip. Yeah. So this one I like to set up and very fast to change the position and high, and then I can keep the light texture. So on the next photo, you see the address. So you can see her the head and shoulder, very subtle the hard line, and also and also this is supposed to wing scene, so you see the light and wings, and they keep the good backlight. And why I say I like the texture, when we do the reverse, we just put the quarter grip in front. We have a very soft light. Also, as you see the edges on the right hand side, you see the very soft, very subtle line. You don't know where from the ambient. So we keep this design to see the whole scene, and very fast.
And having it on the scissor lift allow you to adapt and move relatively quickly, right?
Yeah, high and low, because if two lights is quite heavy, so the scissor lift fast to 20 feet, 30 feet is fast to go.
Yeah, that's a very interesting set. And the last one, okay, the same picture.
Same light, but it have a different texture.
Yeah. Okay. And all the set was LED, or it's a mix of LED and HMI, or mainly LED?
This sets all LED.
All LED.
No any HMI.
Okay. And is it something you see more and more going when you work on the big set like that, and it's a big studio? It's mainly LED now, or you still use some?
I think now LED like 80%.
Yeah.
Sometimes we still have the HMI or the tungsten, but depends on the set.
A good ARRI Max is still good, right? Yes. Yes, we all like a good ARRI Max.
I think the LED is very good for studio because we have the data. We can remember when we back to the we shoot the scene. We can just put on the scene number.
Yeah.
So we can exactly the same thing.
It's very easy to reshoot and come back to the scene. Yeah, absolutely.
It's good for studio.
Yeah. So that was a good. Thank you for sharing these pictures. The movie will be out soon. Is under post production.
I don't know yet. Supposedly this year, but
okay. We see.
Yeah.
We keep an eye on the movie, and I will be the first to go and see it. Jay, so you talk with us. You are working currently on a TV drama, which is a bit new for you, or I know you more from the motion pictures. The drama is called Queen Soline. It seems to be a big drama currently shooting, right? You want to talk with us about that, and we will see some photos also.
Well, yes. Well, I'm mostly working on a film industry, but also the TV drama is getting bigger and bigger. I was lucky that I got involved with TVN TV drama. It's called Queen Train. It will be released. It will be on the air. I think it's the first week of December. We use a 360 during the night scene as a Moonlight. As you can see, there's one on the left, and it's the same thing. It's a 5600 on CCT mode, and that's actually full power. And I just took the picture because it might be helpful for this conversation. So, but we didn't use 100% output. We probably just ended up using 50% of it. So it's also based on it's also the story of the period story. So anything comes above artificially, it looks unacceptable. So me and my DP wants to have the main key lights coming from the ground, on the ground level. So we just have all the fire effects underneath. And that's the only thing that we wanted to have an ambient light to cover it as a Moonlight.
Yeah, that's a very nice photo, and I really like the one with the mist. It's so you took that. So it was a nice shoot, right, or early morning shoot? When did you do all that?
It was actually 3 in the morning. Yeah. But especially these days, there's monsoon season. We have a crazy humid and temperatures going all the way up, and also it was on the top of the mountain. So all of a sudden the smoke just came in and just settled down. It looks like we had a quarter of silk in front of the whole, in front of the 360, which is great. It's great.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful and very simple, very sleek, elegant. Again, that give me. I want to watch this drama. So you think it's going to be finished? We don't know what's happened with the situation, but by end of the year, you think that will be released, right?
Yeah. Well, the first week of December, they already have it on schedule. Additional to that, the reason that I use the 360 during the night scene, especially on this drama, because it's easy to set up. You probably be able to, if you have a pretty big team and your production can't afford to have another, second team to rig big sources, having 18K and, 20 by 20 up in the sky, rig it. It looks great, probably, but and the TV drama in Korea, you have to set up really quickly, and then you have to wrap it really quickly. And and not only the saving your time, but the quality of the lights and all the functions it has inside of the SkyPanels is makes a lot of easy for us.
Yeah, so it's a quick setup and a fast shooting, and so it matches your need, right? And I mean it's right also why we see more and more SkyPanel going into the drama industry. It's for this reason, right? It's very fast, very easy to set, right? And thanks for sharing these photos, because I think that makes perfect sense for our friends who are watching today. Now I want to talk with you, Tam, because so you are more specialized in commercials, but I know that you are doing a lot of music clip. The last clip that you did, or one of the last season of you, I watch it online on YouTube, and it's millions of views of this famous singer. And you share with us some photos. Do you want to walk us through what is your working process, and why you are using the S360 on this clip?
Yes, I'm usually works on small and short jobs. I mean, one or 2 days shooting, but on one day we might need to do 5 or 6 setup. So it's also my job to manage the budget and equipment, that which one is can do a lot of things, like S360. I can use a lot of in many ways. Maybe we can paint it in the background like I do right now, or I can bring it in the top. So I can cover all the ambience and the scene, and then just add a little more few light lamp head to finish the job. So I can work simple and fast, but still effective. Yeah, and also include the last step that I already showed, is the using fire effect or something like that. Yeah.
So your the 360, if I understand, the 360 for you is really the main light, and you drill your other light around, right? You bring a tungsten or something on top of that, but you start always with the big LED light, correct?
Yes, I'm start with the whole ambient of the scene, and then just add the direction of the light later.
And it's really beautiful. I mean, the pictures you are sharing with us, the contrast of color. Obviously, you use a lot of color, and that makes sense for the music video, right? And I think the 360 and all SkyPanel make perfect sense in this kind of application. One question for you, Tam. Also, I saw not on this job, but a lot of guys who do music clip around the world. Also, we see a lot of SkyPanel in the frame, right? People shoot the SkyPanel. We see a lot of music clip where people see the SkyPanel. Do you use it like that also? Do you sometimes put it inside the frame, or it's always external for you?
Not usually. I'm usually hide it behind the set. So create like a particle light or window light. Mm-hmm. I'm not shooting straight to the light like that.
Yeah. Okay. I understood. But it's really an interesting work, and I encourage everybody to go on YouTube and to see this clip, because it has really interesting color and beautiful pictures that you design with the 360. Thanks, guys, for sharing these things. I mean, it's very interesting because it's your project. It's what you are doing now, right? Now, a lot of people in this industry, right, I think the large LED fixtures like the SkyPanel 360, it's only for big budget or big production. And actually, as we talk, right, it's not the case. I want to share with you some interesting usage of the 360 across the region. So on top of what you showed, we have, for example, in Myanmar, right, a studio called EAP Rental. They use SkyPanel 360 for local drama, so low budget drama and commercial local production. And you will see some photo online, right, of a small set in the cafe in Rangoon. So again, very simple, very easy to rig, and for them it's their go-to light, right? So they have few SkyPanel in their inventory, few S360, and they do a lot of things in Myanmar with that. So we are not talking about Hollywood here. We talk about really reasonable budget. And the other project I want to share with you, and I love that, it's in Korea, but because it's about photography, still photography. We have a lot of still photographers around the world who are using SkyPanel now for continuous lighting. They are moving from flash lighting to continuous lighting. But in Korea, we have a wedding photography studio, and it's a studio called Hero Style, and they are using S360 for their photo shoot. Now it's a particular studio because they do only wedding photography studio, and 360 is their main light, and they have couple going there and being shot for their wedding photography. So this studio do wedding photo. They do a lot of quirky things. They do also photo with families and pets. A lot of family goes there to be taken in photo, and it's all led by a 360. And you can see some example of photo. And I think it's very cute, and it shows also the versatility of the 360 because it's not only for big set, it's not only for Hollywood, but it can be used in a lot of applications. And still photographer use the 360 a lot. So I wanted just to share that with you. If you guys are interested, you can go online, Instagram, all social media, you will find heaps of information about this still photographer using the 360. Now, during these difficult times, I think it's good for the industry to come together. And thanks again, guys, for being with us and sharing your passion and your craft around ARRI lighting product. Maybe I have a question from you guys. It's maybe a tips or some advice for people who want to start to use the 360 and they don't know how to start a shoot or how to start to use the 360. Maybe we can start with you, Tom. Do you have some advice for young guys who want to do lighting and use the 360?
For the concern that the S360 will not power enough. I have a job that I use the S360 with the 12K and 2 of M40 and some couple of LEDs. So the work that I will show you is like credit card, TV commercial. We set up this setup in really late afternoon and shooting during the night, but we're making the night 4 days in. So I use the S360, so then it can create a very good window light. So I can put it as close as I want by not need to worry about the window. And in the background, I have the 12K daylight to light the whole house. And yes, that's my part.
So it's very simple set, very easy to rig, and you deliver a very good credit card commercial. I believe for a very difficult client, generally banking clients are difficult with their commercial. So small set, easy to rig. Jay, maybe some advice for young guys who want to start. Is it difficult to start with a 360, or it makes your life easier compared to when you started, when you were young?
Well, for the young filmmakers who wanted to use a 360, well, just not only about the 360, the LED is the SkyPanel, the family of SkyPanels is not just well, I just want to put it like this. If you are happy with RGB and a fire effect and a cop light effect mode, if you're happy about it, you probably know about 10% of SkyPanel does. There's a 90% that you haven't even tried. So it's not like you get the power plug in and turn on the switch like a tungsten does. No, it's more than that. And then there's a lot of things that you have to explore. So, but it's not complicated. If you're young enough or if you're smart enough, just to get one, just rent one, and just trying to work with it. It'll make your life so much easier. And yeah, it's just you can't stop using it.
Well, it's what you show us with the fire effect, right? Yeah, I mean, it's easy to set with the remote control. Yeah. Everybody who plays it can do that.
I feel like the generation. So For example, like a cell phone, before we just using this call lane. Right now we're using smartphone. Everybody using smartphone. Do the all again. And after email, you can do all of them. So I think for light, it's the same thing. It's sort of like a tungsten. So right now we have the SkyPanel. We can more the color changer, temperature, and then the intent. Even the intensity doesn't change the color. If before using the tungsten, we change the intensity, also the color already change at the same time. So I think it's a new generation for LED.
So you will encourage the young guy to use the big LED also because it's give them opportunity, right?
I think a couple of years before we had the 50-50. Right now we have the 80, maybe 20. Maybe next year it's a 90%.
Everybody will use the LED. Yeah.
I don't know. But easy.
I think and we see that more and more people embracing LEDs, and I think what I like in this conversation, guys, again, thanks. It's you make it simple, right? It's the S360. It's an accessible light. It's not a difficult light to handle, and I think we saw that from rigging in Thailand on the truck to you showing the fire effect. It's an easy light to handle, and it's what I wanted to have with this edition of ARRI Asia. Maybe before we because we are almost at the end of this interesting conversation, but Jay, you mentioned when we prepped the conversation, you talk with us about some insect stories with your S360s. What's going on with you? Do you have a lot of insects in Korea, or what's your problem with insects?
Well, it's probably depends on the environment that where you're staying. In Korea, we are surrounded by the whole mountains, and there's a lot of forests, and also the weather, especially during this humid weather, and then during the night, and then if you put your 360 up in the sky on a crane, and there's a lot of insects going in and flying in and all that. If you look at the back of your 360 or the SkyPanel, and there's holes on the back underneath, suck it in. Is take the air out and keep it cool, and it goes out. But with that movement, you have a lot of insects throughout the whole night. And there's one case that came in. They just got the job. They just finished the job and just drop it into our service center. As soon as it arrives, and they told us that it just to finish this morning, and they just brought it in because it's not working. So as soon as we opens it up, the diffusion in front, that there's a pile of dead insects, and there's actually the live insects are flying around. Just be careful about the humid and an insect. And this is not the area recommended, but this is me recommended. Maybe my the Koreans, the other electricians, they asked me to have this insect net and put it in the back of the.
At the back, so you put that at the back of the 360 for night shoot.
Yes, exactly. And then, but it's but this is not the area recommended, but that's.
Yeah, it's not like if it's an ARRI show. Yeah, so you're right. Better bring it on now. Yeah.
And just remember, and then when you purchase the SkyPanels, and when you look at the manual, it says it's indoor use only. But the SkyPanels 360 and 60 is too good, and you can't just keep it in inside the studio. You just take it outside and just explore it, and then just put it out there and just using it. But just be careful with this old insect and all the humans. So when you guys done with throughout the night, leave it and keep it in the dry place, and it opens it up and it clear out when you reuse it. So
yeah, it's also the difference. Before, if you were putting an M90 or an ARRI Max on the train, you have also a lot of insects, but all the insects die with the heat of the in the reflector, right? So you clean the reflector and off you go. But here you have no so much heat, so the insects stay inside the 360. Absolutely, yeah. That's an amazing story, Jay. I'm glad that you share that with us. and it's a proof also that when we design a light, and the 360 was designed to be used indoor, but we learned so much from you guys, and now we are going to release the Orbiter very soon, as you all know, and Orbiter is weatherproof, so you will be able to use Orbiter on night shoot without problem. I'm sure you will discover more things, you will trade new problems, but at least no problem with the insect with the Orbiter, I can guarantee you. Before we end this session, also I want to share with you guys some work from other gaffers around the region that we received on social media. And I want to start with Taiwanese friend, Hu Wei. He shared with us on Instagram. It's a commercial shoot he did for BMW Taiwan. He's using 25 units of SkyPanel, includes some S360. It's a very interesting clip with the crane. I'm sure you see that on your screen now. So it's a very versatile set. Also, we received from Indonesia, from Ferry Rusli, a cinematographer. It's a smartphone TV commercial shot with ARRI signature prime lenses, and it was shot in Melbourne, Australia, with several 360. We can see the pictures on the screen with the car at the back. Thanks very much for sharing that with us, Ferry. And finally, I want to share with you some photo from Cine Asia Film. It's a production company in Thailand, and they keep using a lot of S360-C in multiple locations, project indoor and outdoor. So that gives you an idea of versatility of the product. Of course, you can find that on social media, and if you want more example of that. So that's great. Thanks again, guys, for sharing with us. I think we have some questions that was asked to us online. So I'm going to read the question, and if you want to help me to answer, I will be glad, right? So the first question from Gus: what condition we should concern to set up to put an S360 on lighting stand or hang the 360 in the grid? So maybe the question is related to rigging. So how you will rig? Do you have a special set you will recommend how to rig on the grid, the 360? Any special recommendation?
For mine, I mostly put the scissor lift and then the condor.
Yeah, condor and scissor lift. I think that's a good thing because you can adapt your height and you can move it easily, right?
If you put the toe stand, when we move it, we need the crane down and move it, and then also on my style, I don't. And on my moving, most time it's not on the flat land to push. Yeah. So we need to lower down and quite heavy the equipment. So we mostly using the condor to drive to there. Yeah, so much more safe.
Okay. What about you guys? Tan, about rigging the 360? Any advice?
I'm not usually rigging in the hard way, but when I put it on top, I just tie it with a pipe, metal pipe, and use the rope to hang it. So very simple, very simple.
Okay, so like a space light or something like that, right? Yeah. Okay, and you, Jay, any advice to rig the beast, as we say?
Well, it's the same way to the other countries, and Tom and Wingma mentioned it doesn't require any special way to read it.
We have a next question, and I think it was related to the power. So, what is the difference between S360-C in the grid or 4S60? Do you prefer to be able to do a softbox with 4S60 or to use one S360?
For me, I prefer using the 360, of course, because I just like the one DMX address. I can control 12 different panel. But if using the full SkyPanel, you need the daisy chain to the SkyPanel. So I think it's
better to use 1/360. Yeah. Do you agree, guys? Also, if you have the choice between 1/360 and 4S60, what will you do?
If build the softball, of course, the 360.
Yeah.
No reason to use 360.
You will do the same, guys, in Thailand and in Korea?
Yeah.
Okay, easy. You will go for the easy life, right?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
I will recommend you to use the 360 and the soft dog with 4 S60. That will be my personal recommendation. Another question, what is the maximum height when I set up S360 on the light stand? Well, it's a bit what you were saying, Wing. Well, you cannot go very high on the stand with the 360.
I think for my, like, now 15 feet, something like that. If more than 15 feet, I will using the scissor or condom.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah. If you're on the speedo, you can do a higher than the 15 feet, but I think it's fine if you want to change position, just bring it down.
But on location, it's not practical. It's not practical. Yeah. And I think the last question, it's about which HMI model will be replaced with S360 normally? Is it a 4K? So what if you close your eyes and if you say, okay, I cannot use the S360 here, if I have to use an HMI, what will you will take what? An M40?
Actually, it's completely different light texture. It's very hard to choose.
Okay, you will.
Actually depends on the feeling of the films. It's not.
Okay.
If you choose one like 360.
Okay.
With smartphone, I mean the smartphone.
Yeah. What will you do, guys? In Thailand, if you cannot use the 360, you will use which HMI, or is it very different for you?
Depends on work. Sometimes LG cannot replace the HMI, but sometimes depends on jobs.
Yeah. It's exactly what you say, Wing. Also, and you, Jay, you have the same feeling.
Yes. Well, yes. It has two different DNA. So one is go straight out, which is M40, but it's pure 5600. But the 360 is a soft light, but has all these different colors and all the effects. So it's a totally different DNA. So I couldn't, I won't be able to choose either one of them. But yeah.
And again, I don't encourage anyone to choose. I encourage to use both the 360 and some HMI and a little bit of tungsten, because in fact, all that have a very different texture. They are like the tool in the toolbox, and you pick different tool you need for your job, right? So having access to all that is very important. Well, thanks you guys. I mean, it's a great conversation. I think we can carry on around the beer later on, and I hope one day we can have a real-time conversation like that with an audience, with taking live audience questions, right? But unfortunately, we reached the end of this session. I want really to thank you for your time, for sharing with us your work. It's a great honor. I wish you all three good luck with all your new projects, full of SkyPanel, and I hope also soon full of Orbiter. It's behind me, it's ready, and I'm sure you are going to use it. So soon I will invite you to talk about Orbiter together. Finally, I want to thank also all of you who have joined us online and who are going to rewatch that on YouTube or any social media. You can also visit our website, ARRI.com, which contains all the current online offering from ARRI and webinar. It's a lot of things actually from us in Asia, but also from colleagues with the ARRI Tech Talk Live. So please go to the website, check that. If you have any questions, drop us an email. We are always available. Thanks for joining us for this ARRI Asia Hour. Stay safe. See you next time. Bye.